So now we had reached another crossroads in the project. We had found a tool, proven it could do what we wanted. Where do we begin looking to try and analyse the integration of renewables? So there's a whole host of different technologies you could say we'll look at. Things like energy storage, CHP, electric vehicles, demand-side management, and so on. But when we took a step back from it, we felt that the primary reason we were looking at all of these was for an inevitable solution of being 100% renewable. So we felt, rather than starting off by looking at any specific technology, we'd try and go the whole hog and look at 100%. Now, there was a few major reasons that we decided to do this as our first step. Those were, first of all, to provide an indication of what we're trying to achieve, to try and show what our final objective with this project is. Secondly, to see is there any obvious issues about being 100% renewable. In other words, is there any key technologies we can see from the very outset that are going to be important or are not going to be very important? Therefore, when we have this list of different options, we can cross a few of them out straight away or focus on a few very quickly. And finally then, to raise awareness about the work that we're doing. In other words, to be invited to things like this, to showcase people what we're doing, so that when we go to analyse CHP and district heating, we can get experts within CHP and district heating and make the whole model much more accurate in its predictions and so on. So just to raise awareness about what we're trying to achieve. So what did we actually do then? Our first analysis, we created 4 different 100% renewable energy systems for Ireland. The first one was where we simply converted everything to biomass. The simple renewable transition, I suppose. You take a combustible fossil fuels and get rid of them and replace them with the combustible renewable resource. That was just the first easy switch. The second thing we did was we created a hydrogen energy system, where we introduced flexibility into it by the use of hydrogen vehicles, hydrogen storages, and hydrogen in boilers and power plants and so on. The third one then, instead of using hydrogen, we introduced electricity loads. So things like electric vehicles, electric heating, heat pumps and so on. And the fourth one, we took what we saw were the benefits from each of the first 3 and stuck them together to produce the very first optimum 100% scenario for Ireland. In, I suppose, a crude fashion, but it's a first attempt. And I'd just like to note that for each of these, we tried to maximise the amount of wind on the system, so there was stability issues accounted for and things like that. And we saw wind as the most economical and abundant resource in Ireland. So for each of these, we tried to maximise how much wind we could get onto the system. So just to show you the results then, these are the primary energy supply for each of the scenarios looked at. And these are the technologies that were used in order to meet that supply. Now the first thing I'd like you to note is that all of these are based on the 2007 demand. The idea being, the presumption was that future increases in demand could be offset by energy efficiency. So it was just a proxy to give us something to meet. And I'm just going to go over what were the key conclusions from each of the scenarios we created. First of all, the biomass energy system. The key conclusion we took from that was that CHP and district heating had a huge benefit in the overall system, in terms of efficiency, but also in terms of flexibility. From the hydrogen energy system, we felt that although we introduced a large flexibility, which meant we could introduce a large amount of renewables, the primary energy supply was very hard to reduce because of the inefficiency of creating the hydrogen in the first place. So we got flexibility, but we paid a price for it through inefficiency. The electricity energy system, we found, was similar to the hydrogen system in the sense that it created flexibility, but it could do it in a much more efficient manner. So we took a lot of the technologies we used in the electricity energy system and brought them with us to the combo scenario. And this is the overall structure of what the combo scenario ended up like. And actually it's quite similar to the way Larry actually perceived it might. We had a large-scale introduction of CHP and district heating to introduce flexibility. We had heat pumps in rural areas for heating because we presumed that there'd be the area to put them there, and they're also extremely efficient. Cars were 80% electric and 20% biofuel, and road freight and aviation was split 50% biofuel and 50% hydrogen, primarily because we weren't too sure that in this long-term vision which one of these would be the front runner when we start looking so far ahead. So we just split it 50-50. And with these structural changes, we were able to introduce 8,000 megawatts of wind, 1,000 megawatts of wave, and 250 megawatts of tidal in a stable fashion. And that's what produced the combo scenario here, which you see on the end, which you can see is just far more efficient than what the reference scenario is, in addition to being far more flexible and being able to introduce these renewables. And that kind of brings you up to date where we are at the moment. So I'll just also let people know that this compost scenario has no storage, because this was done previous to the Spirit of Ireland, so we saw storage as maybe a very costly thing, but maybe in the future we can start adding it. There's no interconnection. This is an island system for Ireland. I like to think that we should fix our garden before the field, so I've stuck to just an island system for Ireland at the beginning. And you'll also find some very interesting conclusions for the Danish energy system about the benefits of being able to be an island system and the benefits that has in costs and so on. So we just stuck with that. So I'd just like to conclude then by wrapping up exactly what we've done. We've created 4 100% renewable scenarios for Ireland, and the key things we found from this very initial look at it is that it is possible to reduce our fuel demands significantly, and it's also possible to utilise far more renewable energy. It's, however, vital to analyse numerous alternatives. At the outset, our idea was to create one potential 100% scenario. But we found by doing this kind of taking a number of completely different alternatives and then sticking them together at the end, produced a very improved combo scenario at the end. So we'd highly recommend that people try and look at as many different alternatives as we can, because there's benefits to be found in each. And thirdly then, we noticed that a key issue is going to be our dependence on biomass. Even though we brought in all this flexibility, we still had a very large dependence in all scenarios on the different biomass technologies. So we see that as a key area going forward. And I'd just like to make the final note that this project was done as a guideline for what we're trying to achieve in the very long run, not as a concrete solution as to what Ireland is going to look like in 2050. And it has just proved to be that, just an excellent guideline as to where we will go and look next in terms of technologies and so on. So our future plans are going to be to follow the methodology laid out in the Danish Society of Engineers Energy Plan, where we'll hopefully develop these stepping stones and a pathway towards a 100% renewable energy system for Ireland, and showcase what the path might be from 2015 to 2030 and 2050. And we believe that the debate will become much stronger when you do things like with the All-Island Grid Study, put technical alternatives out there that at least are proven on the technical side, and then you move on to costs and social issues. At least you have a technical issue that can back it up. So that concludes my presentation. I have my email and my website where I blog all the stuff that we're doing and the status of it, where you can get the reports that I've mentioned and so on. And there's a conference paper here that the results are all documented in, that was presented in Croatia a month ago, if you want to get more details on the scenarios and so on. But if you contact me, I can send you on the details or anything like that. So thank you for your attention.